All right. Hello and welcome to this episode of Boomer and Degen. I'm your host, Biz, coming at you live with co founder Andy with Crypto Hub HQ. Andy, how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Good?
Lots to go through today,
Oh, I
right? I
bet.
mean,
I
look,
bet. Yeah.
it's crazy times we're living in, Biz.
It's all good though. We're
Uh,
just having fun with it. Like what can we say? Life is a meme, so just gotta play roll with the punches and just gotta roll with it. Go stories build legacies now and people are building life gen wealth opportunities. So yeah, curious to hear your take on it. Obviously market was moving pretty like aggressively into tooth tokens, especially with Trump and millennia. But what we notice is the pullback with everything else. It's almost like all that liquidity just sucked into these two tokens. So curious to see how it shapes out and plays out. I mean, what's interesting is that we talked about this death cross on the last episode, and although it didn't use the indicators that we are typically used to seeing, where the 20 crosses the 200 EMA, but it used something else. But either way, it called it, and now it actually showed, over the weekend through the price action. So before we get started, just want to say, welcome everybody. If you guys haven't done so already, follow us on Twitter, Crypto Hub HQ. We just started it. We just started the server, so on our website you can get a link to our Discord. We are posting the insights, the alerts for free right now. So all you need to do, go to our website, follow us on Twitter, drop your Twitter handle into the server, and you'll get access to all the tips and alerts. And so there's several indicators, and I think Andy will go through several of them as we speak. But before we even
yeah.
get into all this alert and stuff like this, let's get into the market health, Andy.
Okay, so it doesn't look good. And as you alluded to, the kind of, and we're going to get into this, right? And
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, they dropped these two coins
Yeah.
over the weekend. I think the Trump one was Friday, right? Melania was after that.
2 hours
But
after
they must
Gessler left, right?
Well, they must have done a lot of planning, and I'm going to show you why I think they did a lot of planning. But the fact that they kept it so in the dark is, hats off to them, right? Because that's very difficult in this day and age. But for them to get where they've got to so quickly, I think there's been a lot of planning in the background for this. And the timing, of course, of the Trump one is that he waited. Gary Gensler did his last day on Friday, and I think it was like not long after he'd finished his day's work. In other words, he was never coming back that Trump launched it. And so it was like a big kind of
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Gary Gensler, you know. Um, but I mean, this is just fecking crazy times, all right? But as you said, the alts were bleeding. But there was some interesting stuff happened over the weekend. But let's just quickly look at this. Down, 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 right? Everything a bit more down. And I've finally fixed the sector sections. There was an issue when I rebuilt the database, and the sectors weren't being picked up correctly, nor was the RSI of that. But now that's all working. When the market health, that gets dropped into our channel so you can see it. And now you can see that all of the sectors are, well, down, and in fact, when we go back to here, you can see that our little friend, the altcoin season, has dropped back for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And the fear and greed index has dropped back, as you can see, from where it was 64, was it? Like a few days ago. So, the market is down. Now, whether all of this has been caused by the Trump coins, I don't know. But this is why I think that, well, first of all, let me do Bitcoin, right? Because what was interesting is, and I can start removing some lines now. This was the bottom one we didn't want to go under, and we did. Let's get rid of that now. And that was the one we wanted to go above and stay above, right? Now, if you go down to, say, the 1 hour chart here, you can see it went above it, and then over the weekend successfully retested it and bounced off it. And it was only then on how many hours ago? Like 10 hours ago. 9 hours ago, that it decided to drop back under that channel, and now it's acting as resistance, right? So that previous high that we see over here, the break of structure, is now acting as resistance. So that's kind of where we are. So what we hope is happening is that it's going to, let me draw a little thing here. What we hope is happening, that it's just going to form a higher low and do that, right? That's what we hope, right? So it broke through, it didn't hold it, but hopefully it's still going to form a higher low than this previous low down here, right? So it's going to come in and go back up. So that's one particular action. The other one is that we fall now beneath the other low, and we start continue the downtrend. But we'll see. I think this whole Trump Melania thing will kind of, it peaked, and then I think people are now starting to get back out and go back into other coins. But anyway, the reason I think that they planned this and they did a bloody good job of it is, I don't know if you noticed, but Bing X, Trump was added to Bing X.
Oh, finally.
No, it was added to Bing X 2 days ago.
But it was on the spot, right? Because I couldn't trade the perpetuals.
Oh, this is the perpetual. So the way
okay.
Yeah. So and you can get to it in the perpetual, no problem. Binance then added Trump yesterday, and Bing X added Melania today. Now, the fact that central exchanges are adding these so damn quick, there must have been some planning going in, because it usually takes some time, right, to get vetted through large exchanges. So
well, the thing is, the amount of volume that was coming into these tokens, I mean, that's a paycheck and a half, 100%. So the fact that if any second you leave this, is like you're leaving money off on the table. So for them, it's like they don't even need Trump to say, to sign off on this. They go, they already fact checked it. They go, you know what, we're just gonna we're just gonna onboard them, like streamline. So I'm pretty sure, because of the amount of volume that was coming in, it's just like, you don't want to be late to the party when you're an exchange, when you're dealing with a coin of this phenomenon.
No, that's right. And the interesting thing about this as we move forward is they've only got 20% on the market. 80% are owned by him and his team. And I suspect Melania has done the very same thing, right?
Did you see what happened earlier? Somebody that hasn't done nothing with the token, dropped the price by or he offloaded 35 mil or something like that, or
right,
it was some crazy amount. But
it went down.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Right. Be very careful if you're going to be trading them. Get in, get out. Right. Don't mess about. Just if you're trading it, because I wouldn't trust it as far as I could pick it up and throw it, in terms of its longevity, in terms of the fact that you're not going to be the one holding the bag. Because as they do with these release schedules, and I think there's one in a couple of months and another couple of months, and then throughout his presidency, right? Then you just don't know what's going to happen. And I suspect the Melania coin is next. I don't know what's coming next. Baron Trump, Uncle Fred Trump, I don't know. But, I have my own personal views on all of this. As a trader, I don't care. But I just find it, I guess that's why in this stream they call me the Boomer and you the Degen. But
I haven't even traded this coin yet, because it's been too much of a wild ride. And, to me, it's like we had Sheffy and Boom. Sheffy dropped the contract address for this before this thing even took off. And it's just like, I didn't even have time to even look at it at that moment. But first of all, I didn't even know that this was even a legitimate thing. By the time I realized it was way too late.
But that's why I deleted the contract address in the chat, because at that moment, nobody was sure whether this was a scam or not. It came so quick out of the blue, right? So it came so quick that I was like, wait a minute, delete it, and then we'll put it back later if it proves to be right. Mm-hmm. But now it's on major exchanges, so you can trade it. But those that got in early and got out would have made a hell of a lot of money. I
Dude,
mean,
what
just a
did
hell of a
they printed a like deck of millionaires like just from
yeah,
scratch. And you want to know how it started? It was from Truth Social. So those that were
yeah,
following his Truth Socials that got in, freaking rode that thing right up to like I hear stories of like guys making like 150 mil
yeah,
just overnight, not even 6 hours.
yeah, right. Yeah,
That's
right.
crazy.
Absolutely.
That's
No,
crazy.
no, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But you've got to be prepared for a wild ride if you're going to trade it. I'm sure it'll level out, as we
Mm-hmm.
move forward, and it'll become a tradable coin. But long term, I'm not sure, particularly when they start releasing everything. But anyway, that's the Trump Melania. What's interesting is when you go to the news about this, um, the diabolical theory behind the Trump token. This was by this Star Platinum that's got 38,000 followers. Um, so he launches this meme coin. He's already done his NFTs, which have kind of tanked in price, and not that he cares. Um,
Why not an
the
airdrop to those guys? Wouldn't that make sense? Did they get any airdrops? That
I
would have
don't
been a
know.
smart move.
It would have been a smart move, yeah. So the crypto gave a lot of money to his campaign, right? And they were hoping to get some kind of payback, right? So that I think is the theory behind this. Um, but what he's saying here is he hasn't always supported crypto. As president, he was openly against Bitcoin and other coins. And he kind of said in 2019, I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade, yada, 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 the usual shtick at the time, right? Completely flipped now that he can realize he can make money out of it because their main driver in life is making money. Not against that.
Yo,
Not against
Jamie
people.
Dimon's the same thing. Where is he now?
Oh, hey, don't get me going on people like Jamie Dimon, right? They're just the same.
What
And
happened
of
to this
course
guy?
they were doing an event, uh, a big crypto event, and they launched it without telling anybody. So nobody in the room actually knew. So he told no one beforehand, right?
Wow.
And it went to a 15 billion market cap whilst he was at an event about crypto, right? So Trump showed the biggest guys on crypto world that he doesn't need them. Even in the most exclusive room, they were left out. The only inner circle that matters is his. And that I do agree with that, right? And this young man, Barron, who looks a lot like his dad, right? Even that kind of stoic look, that kind of, smart ass type look, I think he's been behind this quite a bit, and he's a young guy, so he's going to be
Oh yeah.
switched on to it.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
he's like the intel for all the social stuff. And he's like, yo, that guy, you gotta get on with him because that guy's like a multi mega influencer and things like this. So
yeah,
so
right.
yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
that's his plug right there to like the next gen.
no, I agree, and hats off to Barron if he's the one that's decided to set all this up and get his mother involved and release
Well, that's
Milan.
the guy who set up the Joe Rogan. He's like, pretty much like, Dad, this is the guy you gotta get on with.
Yeah, right. No, that's absolutely true. And then another tweet was Melania is a sideshow to Trump. And what I found interesting in this are the comments, because some people were going, this is ridiculous. When will it end? I think there's one that says, when will it end? Where was it? Sad to see this. Like, where will it end? Not feeling it. And then about half of them are going, yeah, to the moon, to the moon, to the moon, right? So the kind of obvious difference between the pure degen and those that were like, oh, come on, enough is enough. I think, oh, there you go. Look, for the love of God, enough is enough.
Did he miss the train?
Well, I know, but it's But anyway, it is what it is, and they pulled a masterstroke doing it when they did it, and the
Why
amount
the
of cash.
weekend, man? I'm a family man. It's tough. I can't be doing this stuff on the weekend.
No, that's right, and but it's kind of fascinating. But anyway, let's go back to the markets. I think for the rest of it. We can get rid of this coin in a minute. So Bitcoin now had a drop, and it's having a comeback up, right? So within our alerts, we get alerts that tell us all kinds of things, right? So I did a couple of, if I go to my charts yesterday, I said I did this trade on AI XBT USDT because it came into our alerts, right? And I showed that it came into rise fast, falling less. And then I showed my trade setup. And this is something that we do in Crypto Hub, right? How I found my entry. I had to go down to 3 minutes to find a good kind of fair value gap so that I could have a really small stop loss so that I could do 40x on it. And then usual came in, and usual came into retraced. And my God, it had really retraced. And you can see here, it had all this massive fall down. But then as I was looking at this entry here, it kind of went up, formed this fair value gap. I don't know if you can see that. I can probably make this bigger in the browser. But formed this fair value gap on the way up. And I thought, right, that's definitely coming down to retest that, right? There's not a shadow of a doubt it's coming down to retest it. So that I got my my setup ready, waited for that to happen, sweep with underneath it, and then as it's coming up, took it 4%, just 4% at I think I did 40x again. Did I say what I did?
Dang, you are brave. I can't even do 40x. I'm not. I do 20 on an alt, but unless it's XRP.
The stop loss is like, like I set it so that my stop losses are like $25, like something like that, right? So if it goes against, I don't really care. But anyway, so now if we come to this market, the market where Bitcoin has now had a pull down, we got coins that like things like rising when Bitcoin is falling. So as Bitcoin was falling, this came in a couple of hours ago. It tells you those coins that are going back up, that are going up regardless, right? If you want to long stuff. But if we look to the latest alerts, because all this is live now on the server, I don't need to do a damn thing, which is really lovely. You get some new coins that came in just a couple of minutes ago while we were on the stream, right? Eiger, which I do not think is on my exchange. But yes, it's kind of doing all right, right? It's kind of rising. So these alerts, and you see these fair value gaps, you can see it's already pulling back to this one, right? So if it's in an uptrend, like if it's now going in an uptrend, and as long as Bitcoin still keeps playing ball here, then this could pull back to here and go again, right? Mm-hmm. So these are very good good coins to trade. I think this is actually on the exchange I use. Yeah, another one just rising fast, falling less. So this had a rise up, then a small fall down, and then a rise up again. So
it's a bit of a move to the next bearish fair value gap.
It could, yes, and it all kind of depends now on we're on the 1 hour. Let me just go down to the 15-minute. But yeah, it depends if it can break out of following Bitcoin or not, right? But you've already got like a lower high here that is kind of holding it back. And I suspect if I put a point of control on, you might find that that's an issue as well. But I think also because Bitcoin is kind of back at this resistance level right now. If Bitcoin has a pullback here and then goes up, then
and that's
potentially
that's the point of control for today.
No, that's the break of structure from here.
Okay,
it's gone back under that important break of structure after retesting it over the weekend and it being respected. We've now fallen back beneath it. So. We have to wait to see how this plays out. Are we underneath it now, and this is now acting as this clear resistance here, or are we going to break back through it when the market's open, stateside at some point in 8 hours? I know the London market will open in a couple of hours, so yeah, and then the retraced ones. This is how I found the coin, was it usual, which was that it came into retraced on the 1 hour chart. So if I went to say NMR USDT, how long ago did this come in? Just about 20 minutes ago. NMR, and I go up here, you can see it's had a retracement here, and there's not, like a lot of them have, because they follow Bitcoin. If you go back to Bitcoin, put that on the 1 hour chart, they kind of look identical, right? So this is why I say if Bitcoin now has a 1% fallback, there's a very good chance this coin won't fall again. So to find your entries, you've got to be on the right side of trading what Bitcoin is doing, right?
Yep.
So that's why it's a very, very important indicator in the way that I trade anyway.
Well, you also brought up another point too, which was the structure, right? The price structure, the chart structure, and so what you did with when you drew Bitcoin, and so you're playing within that actually. So I thought that was pretty interesting, or pretty cool to know, at least.
Yes. So that's what you do is even if you're looking at a specific coin, right? You say, okay, let me go to a higher time frame. Oh, I've got some old things on here, an old fib from before. But let's look at this now. Let me just take all these drawings off. When you look at this now, you can see it came into retracement, right? And wow, has it retraced. But look where it is. It got all the way back down to this level here. And as you can see, there's a fair value gap right the way back here on the 4 hours, which it actually pinged off. It had never touched it before, and it came in and touched it. And so now it's having a little pop up. So that would have been the right time. Let me go down to the hour chart, see if we can see that over there. Yeah, kind of. It's very small.
You gotta have the premium version in order to see that far back.
Because, I do.
Because I got like the plus version, and I can't even see that far back.
Oh, really?
I think they give you like it's limited, but if you get the premium, it goes all the way back. So
that's why you've got to get in on that Black Friday deal that they do, 70% off the year, which is what I do every year, right? So, but anyways, you can see that has had a huge retracement, and that's what this channel shows you, and that's what I did with the usual yesterday. If I go to usual here, I probably still got my. You can see how that on it's if we look on Binance, because it doesn't have as much data on BingX, you can see that it looks identical right to the last one we just checked. The same kind of retracement. And when they retrace down to this kind of level, they do tend to have like a move up. Again, depending on Bitcoin. But there comes a point where they've kind of the sellers of any particular coin have been exhausted.
Wow,
and it's going to
look at that. You remember when that came onto that exchange? We saw that come in and we're like, whoa, and watch it do that move.
It went out and came back in to Binance a while ago.
Yeah.
Yes, it was back in November because they were on Binance for a very long time, and then they must have done something. Binance removed them, and 2 days later put them back. So yeah, I don't know what had gone on with that, but now look at it. From after it came back in, it had a huge, what was it, 600% rise, and now has almost gone back down. So anyway, these alerts are great at finding these kind of coins, because you look at the higher time frame, you go, what's the market structure of this coin? Well, it ain't good, right? So it's definitely in a downtrend. But some people will be drawing trend lines here and going, well, this could be a trend line now. We could be moving back up. So that's the way that market structure works, is on a higher time frame. What is the overall market structure? We can use Bitcoin as the very good example of that. Well, we're kind of on the up, right? That's a completely opposite to what you've just seen in usual. We're on the up, but locally over the last few weeks, we've been kind of having a pullback, which is pretty natural. So trade that pullback, right, up and down with the swings, no problem, right? When you look at a coin like this, you say, well, is this dying off, right? We're still in a downtrend. We would need to break a serious, like this lower high has to be broken.
Oh my goodness, look at that, man. It's like that consolidation to a break to the downside must have been gut-wrenching. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah. But
Whoa.
this is how you can find if you're not a leverage trader and you want to buy a coin you believe in, if you really believed in this project, then
Yeah.
you're getting the cheap. So that channel is very good. Is
Yeah.
very good for finding those kind of things, right? And what's another one? Bell USDT. I'm just picking them at random. So this again, let me clear these drawings off here. I clearly haven't looked at this for a very long time. Again, huge retracement, huge retracement. And then we've got, this has been a very busy channel, falls fast, rise less, because Bitcoin's been going down. So there were
Mhm.
earlier on, there were like huge amounts of these coins, right? So Sol is now one of them. Now Sol, oddly enough, has been doing really, really well.
Yeah, thanks
Uh,
to your boy Trump.
Thanks to, because yeah, the Trump coins are on Solana, right?
Yeah.
So it really kind of helped Solana. But again, if you go down to the last few hours, um, look at how that's mirroring Bitcoin. Bang bang, bang bang. Right. So never ignore what Bitcoin's doing. If Bitcoin's turning around and you've got a coin that tends to rise well when Bitcoin goes up, then that's the time to look for entries in that coin. So it's so yes, and shorting ones. What this tends to do, it can't always by definition get it right, but what it tends to, its job is to say, well, this coin has gone up and it's it's in an uptrend and it's going to have a general pullback, possibly to a fair value gap, and then go up again. The next alert I will be adding is literally going to be called the long and short versions of break of structure, fair value gap formed, right? So
Ooh.
because they tend to be very powerful fair value gaps. So that will be like, okay, now we've had a break of structure, there's a fair value gap formed, and we've not quite gone down to it yet. Send the alerts beforehand so you can go to the charts and do your trade setups. So that one's coming. We're on a new week, some point this week. I'll release that one. But yeah, because fair value gaps are ridiculously powerful, right? And
Mhm.
they teach you where a coin will pull back to, right? Again, assuming Bitcoin is playing ball. But we're about to get some more alerts coming in a second. But other than that, Biz, that's the market. The Trump thing really kind of took over the market over the weekend,
Yeah.
and
And then
if you look at today, the others are up by 1.28%, but yesterday they were massively down, like
yeah.
massively.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, today was a family day today, but yeah, I did see a nice recovery from yesterday's pullback. So but
yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is Trump's big day, is it? Right? He gets sworn in, or
yeah. It's my today, later my today or tonight my today, but yes, 20th. It's
yeah,
his
the 20th.
inauguration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, I would be curious to see what happens there. If we get Bitcoin breaking to the upside from here, I mean that'd be very positive overall and a very strong indication for this week starting. So yeah, curious to see what happens. We got 8 hours until market opens. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I think we'll be back tomorrow. We'll take a look at what the price action gives us. We'll probably follow up with Trump's inauguration and see how that impacted price action. And if you haven't done so already, give us a follow. Join our Discord server. You can get the link through the website. The website's on the Twitter handle. So go to the Twitter handle, click the link to the website, and you'll get a link to our Discord. Let us know that you followed us, and we'll give you access to all the tips and action. And that's it for today. So I'm your host, Biz, and there's Andy. We're coming back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
happy trading. See you later.